Geometry students, and welcome to the last chapter of the year. We're going to do some of the 11 ones, which we're going to go back. I remember back in chapter 9, we talked about volume and surface area of prisms and cylinders. We are going to come back to that now, and we're going to talk about volume and surface area in this chapter. We're going to add to that um, pyramids, cones, and spheres are kind of the main ideas of this chapter. The first lesson is just a review of what we did back in chapter 9 so that then we can build on it in future lessons. So if you notice, the objective for this lesson is to review how to find surface area and volume of prisms and cylinders. If we take a look at the next one, we're going to go straight into kind of the lessons. This is just a review. They go through and they talk about, again, the idea of how to find the volume and surface area of a prism. Remember, for surface area, it is just the area of all the sides. So you've got, and in this case it's a cube because it's 20 by 20 by 20. But it is just, you've got a 20 by 20 bottom, 20 by 20 top. Front, back, left, right. Find the area of all the parts, add them all up to get your surface area. Okay? Remember, for volume, you are finding the area of the base, whatever shape that might be. This happens to be a square because it's 20 by 20. And then you're thinking about filling this up. You're stacking, in this case, squares. And that's where the height comes into play. So it's the area of your base, and then you multiply it by the height. Okay? So that's, you can kind of read through this, but that's generally what this is talking about. They're talking about the base area of the square, 400, times the height of 20 to get a total 8,000 cubic centimeters for your volume. And here's the discussion right here about the surface area like we were talking about. Okay. Reminder, here's the toolkit. You will be able to use this toolkit, by the way, when you get to the Chapter 11 test. I'll send it out the same day I send out the test so that you have it. This is just a reminder right here in both the yellow and the green of volume and surface area of prisms and cylinders. And then you can kind of see I've started to highlight where we're headed. We're going to talk about pyramids coming up, so we'll get into that. Okay. Next page talks about cones. We'll get into that later on. And then finally we'll talk about spheres. But I wanted to put it in there so you could kind of at least look at where we're headed. Here's a video. Again, just going back over, basically you can see the picture. There's 6 different problems that you can go back and you can take a look. They walk you right through how to find surface area and volume of these 6 different problems. Okay, so you can take a look at that if you need it, if you need a refresher. And then here's your practice problems where you're finding volume and surface area of, in this case, these 5 different problems. Okay, so here's a square prism. Here is a triangular prism. Okay, as you work your way through that. Remember, this 15, the hypotenuse, will be the same as that 15, and you'll need to find this other part. It is a Pythagorean triple, or you could use the Pythagorean theorem to find it since we have a right triangle. Again, remember, when you're finding surface area here, you've got a triangular top, triangular bottom, and then you have 3 rectangular sides. Find the area of those 3 rectangles and add them all up. Okay? When you get down to number 3, remember, to find the area of your base, you got to break this into triangles, okay? Where this 3.46, that's the height. That's the height that's given of one of these triangles. So keep that in mind. Find the area of one triangle, multiply in this case by 6 because it's a hexagon, and then times the height will give you the volume. And then when you're finding surface area, remember, area of one hexagon, double it because you've got a second one, and then you've got 6 rectangular sides that are 8 by 4 each. And so add all those up. In number 4, notice we're going back to the idea of a cylinder. To find the volume, it's pretty straightforward. Area of the base, pi times the radius squared because it's a circle, and then multiply by the height. Okay. For surface area, remember, pi r squared because of the area of the base. Double it because you got a circle on top and bottom. And then remember the kind of the body portion of the cylinder, that is just a rectangle if you would unfold it. The height of the rectangle in this case will be the same as the height of the cylinder. It's 2. And remember, the length of your rectangle will actually be the circumference of your circle, which is 2 times pi times the radius. Okay? Matter of fact, let me go back just a couple of slides here just to refresh your memory. If we come back to the cylinders, here's exactly what that's talking about right here. The area of your bases, pi r squared, times 2, because there's 2 of them. And then the lateral face, your rectangle, there's your 2 pi r times your height to find the area of the rectangle part. Okay? So you're going to want to apply that on problem number 4. And then finally, problem number 5, same idea, only difference is down here, this 11 is the diameter, it is not the radius. So remember, you got to cut that in half in order to get the radius. Otherwise, number 5 is very similar to problem number 4. Okay? Answers are all right here. Volume and surface area answers are all there for you. What you can take a look at, make sure you check your answers so you know that you're doing things correctly. Because like I said, we're going to build on this idea as we move through the chapter. And you will have problems like this on the Chapter 11 test as well. So you want to make sure you can do them. If you do have any questions at all, do not hesitate to email me whatever questions you might have. Join up with me during my office hours in the chat room and ask. Otherwise, as always, we can set up a WebEx if we need to for one-on-one explanations. Okay? Hope everybody has a good day and understands this review lesson.